None can be free who is a slave to and ruled by his passions. The oldest, shortest words, yes and no, are those which require the most thought. Lessons in life will be repeated until they are learned. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Rest satisfied with doing well, and leave others to talk of you as they please. The disease of men is that they neglect their own fields and go to weed the fields of others. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. Iron rusts from disuse, water loses its purity from stagnation. Even so does inaction sap the vigor of the mind. I think there is only one quality worse than hardness of heart, and that is softness of head. Even the finest sword, plunged into salt water, will eventually rust. Money is a terrible master, but an excellent servant. A man can never have too much red wine, too many books, or too much ammunition. Life did not intend to make us perfect. Whoever is perfect belongs in a museum. You have power over your not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Half the world is composed of people who have something to say and can't, and the other half who have nothing to say and keep on saying it. Blessed is he that expects nothing, for he shall never be disappointed. A man who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary. A man is never as big as when he is on his knees to help a child. If someone wants to humiliate you, then you are on the right track. When you are asked if you can do a job, tell them, "Certainly I can." Then get busy and find out how to do it. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Whatever they think of you, do what you think is fair. Man's nature is evil. Goodness is the result of conscious activity. It is not by muscle, speed, or physical dexterity that great things are achieved, but by reflection, force of character, and judgment. Before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves. Rather go to bed without dinner than to rise in debt. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards.
Nothing in this world is worth having or worth doing unless it means effort, pain, difficulty. Don't hit at all if it is honorably possible to avoid hitting, but never hit soft. What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's job? Be humble to those who praise you, pleasant to those who honor you, kind to those who cherish you, good to those who love you, and generous to those who adore you. You learn more in 1 hour of doing than 10 hours of listening. At 20 years of age, the will reigns, at 30 the wit, and at 40 the judgment. By remaining true to yourself, without seeking to compare and compete, you will achieve universal respect. If you are alone for a long time, soon you will accept loneliness. You will never know your potential if you are afraid to be alone. Wealth, like happiness, is never attained when sought after directly. It comes as a byproduct of providing a useful service. Sometimes the hardest part isn't letting go, but rather learning to start over. There is no man living that cannot do more than he thinks he can. Whoever, undertaking a business, hurries too quickly to achieve a result, will do nothing. He who carefully finishes his work, as he began, will not fail. A man with outward courage dares to die, a man with inner courage dares to live. If you aren't afraid of dying, there is nothing you can't achieve. I saw few die of hunger, of eating 100,000. You should have ways of making money that other people know nothing of. It is easier to prevent bad habits than to break them. When true virtue is lost, good nature appears. When good nature is lost, justice appears. When justice is lost, decency appears. The rules of decency are only a semblance of truth and the beginning of all disorder. A great man clings to the essential and leaves the insignificant. He does everything in truth, but he will never rely on laws.
One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards.
Nothing in this world is worth having or worth doing unless it means effort, pain, difficulty. Don't hit at all if it is honorably possible to avoid hitting, but never hit soft. What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's job?